What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Celtics Daily Channel with me, Mike Zakarian. As it's now not only Halloween, it's now Cup season. It is time for us to respect the Cup. The Emirates Cup tips off tonight, but more importantly, we've got a rematch here with the 76ers after dropping game one against Philly, where Maxey, in the first game of his career, VJ Edgecombe, come into the Garden and just absolutely wipe the floor with us. The Celtics have a chance to get some revenge and also pick up some cup points. But before we get into that, and then a couple of other things going around the league, do me a favor. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button, okay? We're out here grinding every day. Let's get the algorithm boosting. Like the video, get involved in the comments, do all of the things that help, drive engagement. This sounds gross. You know what I'm saying, though. Get involved. All right, here we go. We've got Celtics and Sixers tonight. I'm excited. I am seated, as the kids say, for this one. And it's on Prime, which I don't know. Also, if you guys are out there in the YouTube TV battles, I'm rooting for all of you. If you're not paying attention to that, God bless you. But it looks like you're losing ESPN and ABC. What's going on in this world? But on Prime, Celtics and Sixers. And right now, we've got the Sixers favored here by 2.5 points, according to the Vegas gods. Now, I think for me, the thing that I'm going to be watching the most here is how do we slow down Tyrese Maxey, all right? We already know that Paul George is not going to be playing. He has been ruled out. Embiid, we imagine, is going to go for like 20 to 24 minutes. I do think we get a different version of Joel Embiid than we got last in game one. It's still only going to be like 20 or so minutes, but he definitely looks like a different player the last couple of games than what we saw in game one. So the Celtics, I do think, even though it's only 20 minutes, are going to be having to, again, just like crash the boards in a way. Also, I just want to shout out Jay King from The Athletic and Potable, our gosh, why am I blanking on the name? It's early in the morning for you, boy. It's early in the morning. But he had a good point about the offensive rebounding, about the way that the Celtics play and how aggressive they've been. They should continue to be like a good offensive rebounding team. And that is like one of the things that will one of the things that can kind of be the ultimate, what's the word? You boys dying out here today. Equalizer. There we go. Shout out Denzel Washington. But like an equalizer, right? Where if you are getting killed on the defensive glass at times, if you are able to give them the business on the other end, and Nemias Queta, who was pointed out as like historically or throughout his like brief career, has been a very good offensive rebounder. His rates are really high. So maybe that is an area where they're able to beat them on the glass, because Embiid, honestly, not like the big rebounder that you think he is. I mean, he's still going to give you them, but like knowing his size, you would think he would be a monster rebounder. And over the last couple of years, I mean, he's a career 11 rebounds per game guy. But this season so far, only 5 boards a game. And most of them, honestly, even last year, only averaged 8 boards a game. The year before that, 11. But most of them, or almost half of them, come on the offensive side of things. So, they can be beaten on the glass. You're not really scared of guys like Watford and Dominic Barlow, who a lot of you guys are probably Googling right now, right? So I do think there is a way to beat them on the offensive glass, and that, anytime you can create extra offense, get extra possessions, obviously that's going to give you a better opportunity here. But to me, it's like, how do we stop Maxey? How do we stop Edgecombe? Because Maxey is the best player on this team. I don't even think it's close. Like he is electric. He is super fun to watch. He's just continued to get better. I mentioned this yesterday. It's only through 4 games. It's a small sample size, but he's averaging almost 38 points a game, and he's shooting 45% from the field, 47% from 3, and 87% from the line. And his backcourt brethren here, the rookie VJ Edgecombe, through 4 games is averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game, shooting 47% from the field and 42% from 3. So they've got, on volume, both of their backcourt guys are not only flying up and down the court, playing at a pace that, honestly, I'd like to see the Celtics play at. They're also knocking down shots efficiently, and I just don't know if maybe in game one we weren't really prepared for this. Yes, you prepared for Maxey, but to see a rookie go out and do what he did in game one, I think was pretty surprising. So We'll see if the Celtics at game 2 have a different game plan. And listen, I mean, the rotations of this Boston team are very different now than they were in game 1. If we want to go back to, if we go back to the scores from game 1 from last week, what was that? That was on a Wednesday, I think, right? Can you believe we've only been playing basketball for like 8 or 9 days now? It feels like we're a month into the season already. But in that first game, right, in that when that 117 to 116 loss, here are some of the stats that stick out. The Celtics in this game, they they gave up, excuse me, they gave up 10 offensive rebounds, and the Sixers collected 40 boards, while the Celtics collected 42 boards and out-rebounded them on the defensive end by 2. So, and they tied in the offensive rebounds. If you look at the rotation here, in this game we started Hauser, Cada, White, Brown, and Pritchard. Now, we know Josh Minot coming off that double-double game in that most recent win over the Cavs. Like, that guy's he's in the starting lineup now. Our bench rotation was Boucher with 16, Tillman with 16, Minot with 14, Garza with 6, and Simons with 32. I don't think we're not going to see Boucher. I do think we'll still see a little bit of Garza and a little bit of Tillman. Also, there was I'll link this in the tweet, in the video, a really cool, post by Luka Garza's dad, just talking about what a dream it was for Luka to play for the Celtics. I mean, it's moments like that. It's hard not to just love the guy. He tries so damn hard. But anyways, thinking that Minot's going to be back into the starting lineup, the things that I'm going to be paying attention to is how do they defend these guards, right? Because in this game, Maxey just went nuts. So Maxey played 41 minutes. He had 40 points. Dude went 7 for 9 from 3. Come on now. 7 for 9 from 3 is nuts. You had VJ Edgecombe. He played 42 minutes in this game. He had 34 points, 7 boards. So these two guys, they combined for 74 points. They combined for 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, a block, and only 3 turnovers between the two of them. And they played a combined 83 minutes. It's wild that they were able to do that. Now, Embiid, on the other hand, was neutralized, right? He only had 4 points and 6 rebounds, 1 for 9 from the field. So I guess what I'm looking for with Boston here, are they able to knock the 3-ball down? Because in this one too, right, they barely got shots up. I mean, 11 for 43, shooting 25% from the field. 25% from 3. That's not going to do it, right? So, how are they going to defend Maxey and VJ? Or because if those guys continue to run all over us, I think it is going to be a problem. And I do think the Celtics are equipped to slow down one guard. I do. But when they have 2 dynamic, electric playmaking guards, we're in a little bit of a tougher spot. We are. We're in a little bit of a tougher spot because now it's requiring Pritchard or Simons to do a little bit more. And I'll be honest, I think Derek White's been making some pretty big defensive plays, right? I keep going back to that block he had in the Pelicans game that felt like it single-handedly shut the door for the Pelicans in that one. Can White stay on Maxey a whole game? Because it doesn't really feel like his skill set is to just on ball defending, shut a guy down like that. He feels like more of a team defender. And that's just vibes. I don't have anything to back that up, but which is maybe irresponsible for me to even say out loud. But I think that's going to be the key tonight is how can you slow these guys down? And obviously Maxey and VJ are going to get theirs, but can you hold Maxey to 30 points? Can you hold VJ to 18? Can you at least make those shots tough? Can you make the 3 balls contested? That on the defensive end, that's what we're going to need to see. On the offensive end, hey Peyton Pritchard, let's go. Can we get the 3-ball to fall? And I'm not in panic mode. Same thing with Derek White. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. What's our 3-point percentage right now for our guys? Because I'm telling you right now, it's not good. I believe Peyton Pritchard is sitting in the 25% tile. He is shooting. Wow. Peyton Pritchard is a career 40% 3-point shooter. I'm gonna let you guys guess right now. Obviously, this is not live, but I'll let you guess. 3, 2, 1. 19% from 3. He's shooting 19% from 3 on volume. Now, as someone who had a 40 and over basketball game last night, which, by the way, just a quick tangent, this game started at 9:15 p.m. We're all 40 and up, all right? This is a New York league. It's this all ages. Why are we making the old people play the 9:15 game? There's young people who are ready to go out and party after a W at a 9:15 game. I'm in so much pain right now. And what was brutal is I gave them the Peyton Pritchard business last night. Actually, I can't even say that because Peyton at least has been going like 1 for 9 from three. Your boy Tony snelled it. We were 0-0-0. Also, the game went into overtime. I got home at 11:30 last night. Was it an overtime W? Yes. You're damn right it was. 4-1, baby. 4-1. But I was so bad. So to feel the way I feel this morning, and to just Brick City, brutal. But anyways, sorry for that. Peyton Pritchard, yeah, I need you to hit some threes. Derek White, let's look at his volume. His 3-point percentage here through the first, again, small sample size, only 5 games. He's shooting 25% from three, and he's a 37% career 3-point shooter. So, like, these numbers are going to turn here at some point. They are. It's not like you don't just, high volume, efficient 3-point shooters don't just forget how to do it. But I think AJB put in the chat, which we'll mention a little bit later, the catch and shoot for Derek White versus off the dribble could be causing some of it. Peyton Pritchard being asked to do so much more offensively, and by that I mean like facilitation-wise, right? He's doing more playmaking now as his assist numbers are pretty high, right? What's he averaging assist-wise? I think it's like 7 a game. He's averaging 6 assists, right? 14, 6, and 5 so far through 5 games. But that's pretty impressive considering the fact that he's not getting the ball to go through the hoop. But I think something that can't get overstated enough is the Tatum effect, man. Because not only does Tatum take away some of the playmaking responsibilities from these guys, Tatum's your number 1 option, and then Jaylen Brown's your number 2 option, right? And so now Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are afterthoughts. Pritchard is a little different because he comes off the bench, so he's not always playing with that starting 5, right? But that changes things. That makes it so now all of these shots are prepared by the defensive assignments. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm expecting to turn around. Honestly, I like the Celtics tonight, but I feel like I've been wrong every step of the way. Excited to see these rotations Joe's throwing out. It seems like we're starting to get a rhythm for what's working and what's not. Coming off a big win against Cleveland, it would be a fun way to just build some momentum. I know some people in the chat were talking about they don't care about the cup. I mean, I get it. I'm not like jacked up about it. Like I'm not like crazy about it, but I do think it's fun. I will say I have gone to to Las Vegas for the semifinals and finals the last 2 seasons. So I guess the 2 years that they've done it, right? And it's been such a fun experience. Even though the Celtics have yet to get there, it's been a really good time. I'm pretty sure I'm going back out there again in December. So. If anybody wants to come out, if the Celtics get out there, hit me up, bro. All right, so just a reminder, these are the teams in here. We're Group B. Celtics, Magic, Nets, 76ers, Pistons. And I believe, what is it? The winner of each group plus 2 wild cards make it. So one little fun wrinkle is if you get to blowout city, the point differential matters. And knowing that we get the Nets and the Magic who are struggling a little bit, this is a pretty big game tonight. So let's do. I just want to quickly let's move around here. The rest of the league. This will be quick. The life of Pablo. Pablo Torre finds out had a new pod / video drop yesterday. That was a really in-depth thing on what's going on around the sports gambling stuff, the indictments that happened, or the arrests that happened with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. And it was, he had a video drop over the summer that was kind of centered around Malik Beasley and the underground gambling ring that was happening, or allegedly with Malik Beasley. But, and it all tied back to that video. But it just, this video mentions like the relationship with Ty Lue and Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups and this illegal poker game and I mean KG gets name checked too, but it sounds like through all of Pablo's reporting, and this is kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because I'm not sure if you guys saw the Kevin Garnett stuff, but he was allegedly at one of those poker games. But through Pablo's reporting, it sounds like KG was kind of not full. He thought he was going to an after party. He showed up. There was a poker game going on. He's like, "Oh, I'm not down for this," and he left early. but he wasn't involved in the rigging or anything like that. He was more, they were like, "Hey, you want to come play poker with KG?" That's how it was used, right? But the Chauncey stuff is kind of nuts, man. The fact that he was, allegedly sharing some information about his team, like tanking before anybody else knew, like that Damian Lillard was being shut down. Allegedly, that's what the indictment says, that he was sharing that information. That's nuts. That's like Pete Rose-esque stuff, you know. So you have that, but then he was also like He wasn't just like, "Hey, come play poker with Chauncey Billups." Like he was also part of the cheating that was happening in the poker games. It's just kind of crazy. I'm sure we're going to learn more and more about this, and I'm sure it's not the last time we have, some players around the edges getting themselves involved in some situations like this that involve sports gambling, and which is a bummer because I'm somebody who enjoys dabbling. Like I'm not psychotic about it, but I do. I enjoy it, and on the sports betting side of stuff, especially because like when you talk about the NBA every day, you like to feel like you know what you're doing, and you can have some takes or whatever, and it's fun to play around with that. But to see it seeped so deeply into the game, I mean, like even somebody like me who enjoys this stuff, like the advertisements around it, the connection with the league, it feels different when the league is also promoting it. You know what I mean? When it's like us here talking, we're like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." But when I have Kevin Hart and LeBron James being like, "Hey, did you get your parlay?" Like that kind of stuff, I'm like, that's not, I don't like that. That part I don't enjoy. There seems to be some more guardrails that need to be set up in boundaries. But anyways, all that to say, I encourage you to go check out the Life of Pablo. That's not what it's called. That's a Kanye West album. The Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast that dropped yesterday. Just quickly around the league, I just want to dude, if you guys aren't watching Wemby, he's insane, man. This was a league pass game last night. They played the Miami Heat. The Spurs are now 5-0. The Spurs may have arrived already. This is the Wemby line. And this is just what he does now. He played 40 minutes. He had 27 points, 18 boards, 6 assists, 5 blocks, and a steal. And then the reigning rookie of the year had 21 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, 5 blocks. I mean, they combined for 5 steals and 6 blocks, the last 2 rookies of the year over there. Spurs are scary as hell. And the other game I wanted to mention, just because they're in our Emirates Cup group, the Orlando Magic got their second win. They beat the Hornets 123-107. But Orlando is one of those teams that's stumbling a little bit. And it's given the Celtics a little bit of life, in this, that if they aren't the team that we thought they were. I sound like that coach now. We are who they thought they were. Crown their asses. I can't remember his name. Dennis Green? No. Former Cardinals coach. Anyways, whatever. Is it Dennis Green? Anyways, whatever. Somebody tell me in the chat, because I'm not going to look it up. But if the Orlando's not going to be as good, I mean, that's kind of, that's nice. But on the flip side, the Bucks beat the Warriors without Giannis last night. Ryan Rollins went nuts. So, I don't know. The East is a mess, man. The East is a mess. Feels like it's anybody's game, which is why tonight is so exciting against the 76ers. Would be nice. Let's pull into 500. Let's pull into 500. Let's go into this little home stretch with we got Utah and Houston and Washington, and then I think we got Orlando. Let's pull into this home stretch 3-3. All right? And then we're back. Vibes are back. Let me get into some of your comments from yesterday. As always, I really do, and I mean this sincerely, okay? Even though I'm doing an insincere face. Appreciate everybody being here and just engaging with this. This has been like a fun little project that we started, I don't know, back at the end of April, maybe early May, and to see this kind of slowly grow and have a lot of people just get involved in the chat, and it's been like a fun little community building experience. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'm always open to most feedback, but if there's like a different way you want to see this go down, if you're interested in live streams, I don't know, just hit me up, open to feedback, but as long as I can make fun of you a little bit too. Let me get into your comments from yesterday. So let's go back to Carlos Harris said, "I'm still going with us getting 50 W's this year." He says, "Looks like Simons has a chance to win 6th Man of the Year. This is not a gap year. We still have some excellent players that will not tank." Yeah, we'll see, man. Dude, this feels like a freaking roller coaster for me, right? Where I go into game 1 being like, honestly, 4 seed. And then I go into game 2 being like, go tank. So, I don't know. Puzzly Bearded said, "Hey, I think why not Minot? Probably starting for the rest of the season." I think you're right. There's been a lot of Minot love in the chat. Naz Dallin said Minot's going to be phenomenal. I mean, it's been so fun. He's been so fun to watch develop, and we're tip of the iceberg with him, I think. And then this is what AJB was saying earlier. What are your thoughts on Doris Burke saying Derek White is struggling because he has to shoot off the dribble more this season? I know he did a lot of catch and shoot for the team in previous years, but I thought he's also flashed the ability to create off the dribble as well. And then back to Naz, too, who also said, still Pritch and White are shooting horrendous, 7 of 44 combined, and we're winning. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, back to AJB's point, it's hard. It is such a small sample size, right? I think if in a month or so, if he's still struggling in that area, then it's a conversation that probably needs to be had. I keep going back to, like, you went from option 4 to option 2, or option, 4 to option 1. And I think that just makes life harder. That, you're not going to get the clean looks. Like, Tatum is just a magnet for the defense, right? Everybody's going to be like, oh, get in front of Tatum, get in front of Tatum. Tatum can break down. It makes it easier to slash and kick with Tatum, right? And to remove him from there, it's going to be a little bit harder. That's why I thought the pace was so important, because I think it's hard when you're playing at such a fast pace. It's hard to just like match up and stay in front of your guy, because it's just a little bit more chaotic. You find open looks there. So we'll see. Let's check back in a couple of weeks on that. But as always, hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the subscribe on the way out. We'll be back not tomorrow, probably Monday. We'll be back Monday. Real quick, actually, before we do that, how many games do the Celtics have this weekend? Do we have 2 games? Because I tell you what, if we only have 1, maybe we fire up a video over the weekend if they only have 1. I'm assuming they play tonight and then Sunday. They've done a pretty good job with back-to-backs, making sure teams for the Emirates Cups aren't on front end or back end back-to-backs. Let me just see if they play on no game on Sunday. Do they have a back-to-back? Let's see, Saturday. Yeah, they do have a back-to-back. Okay, Rockets at home on Saturday. All right. Yeah, we'll probably fire up. We won't do one this weekend. We'll be back on Monday. We'll have 2 games to break down. All right, everybody, enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there for Halloween. Get some candy, and enjoy the Celtics. Let's go. We're out.